What do you do confidently now that made you feel weird in the past? Unwrapping a tampon in a public bathroom. Walking down the street, realizing I was going in the wrong direction. And making a U-turn without pretending to have forgotten something. Pee without asking. Going out for a meal on my own. So many things. Getting older and caring less about what people who don't matter to me think of me has been extremely liberating. I've also learned that most people aren't actually paying attention when you do something stupid or embarrassing. People are usually off in their own little worlds. I was a very self-conscious and eccentric child. But adult me has fully embraced my weird side. And it's wonderful. I am who I am meant to be. And I'm surrounded by amazing people. Not really at the present. Not since February. But going to the cinema alone. First time I ever did. Back in 2016 it felt weird tbh. Even had a mother ask me if I was waiting for anyone when I saw Kong Skull Island. But now I actually prefer it most times. It means I don't have to worry about scheduling with a friend on what day's best. Don't get me wrong. I have still gone with friends, but 90 to 95% of the time I go alone. I can do whatever I want before or afterwards. Whether to look around the shops or just go straight home. Swim without a shirt on. My sisters made fun of how I looked without a shirt on when I was like 12 and it stuck with me for years. Just the other day I went to the beach and realized that I finally don't care anymore. Paint, draw and then share it with strangers. I did not grow up with art and had absolutely no confidence in attempting it. During our quarantine this spring, I taught myself how to watercolor and draw birds and am now selling prints and stickers and donating 100% of the profits to bird conservation groups. I just love birds. Saying how I feel. I'd usually bottle things up because I didn't want to upset anyone. Telling people the music I like. English. I used to be terrible and my accent still sucks sometimes. But after more than 20 years of practice and a bachelor degree from an English university, now I'm quite proud to be bilingual. Call other adults for adult reasons. Okay, not super confidently but much more so. Asking people to pay back money they borrowed. Stay calm around women I find attractive. I used to get anxious and even avoid. Go out in public and be around crowds. When I first started using a wheelchair, I was hyper aware of people staring at me, avoiding getting near me, or acting strange when interacting with me. Decades of being a wheelchair user have desensitized me to all that. Hardly notice now. Say no. A lot of people struggle with saying no. I used to struggle with it as well. I got a lot of advice to be unapologetic. You don't owe anyone anything. You don't have to give a reason to say no. That is stupid advice. That is obviously going to harm your relationships. Instead, I realized that most people are reasonable. I present my case in a way that the other person can understand and explain why I need to say no. Almost everyone understands and does not want to put you in a difficult situation. If the other person is not reasonable, there is no point explaining further. Then you just gotta say no. But you need to try to explain first. Buying condoms. Have conversations with people. I used to basically not be able to talk to anyone for any length of time without being drunk. Small talk and deep conversations was super hard for me. Now 6 months later I have talked to people for hours that I have just met about anything under the sun. Embrace my absolute love for Pink after years of deluding myself into believing I wasn't like the other girls. Lol. Edit. My first bunch of awards. So glad everyone's breaking out of their shell into the wonderful world of Pink. Now I must ask, red pink? Or purple pink? Talking on the phone. I was crippling shy as a teenager. To the point I'd have to script what I was going to say before doing something like phoning for an appointment. Then age 21 I got a job in a call center and nowadays I can phone anyone with ease. Though I'd never say it's my favorite thing. I'll even complain about shoddy customer service on the phone now. Flood therapy works. I'm the fat girl in the gym. For my entire adulthood, I would hold back my workouts. For fear of jiggling, sweat, boobs bouncing, heavy breathing. I get red in the face with any exertion. Finally, I got some quality clothes that fit properly. Really good bras that keep the girls in check, and now I'm really proud of how hard I work. I sweat through my clothes every workout. My hair gets soaked. I love leaving drips underneath my heavy bag. Now my coaches use me as an example of what to do if you want higher intensity in the exercise we are doing. I love it. Only 2 more hours until class starts. Wear a mask over my face entering a bank to get the money. Eating alone in restaurants. At least before COVID. I used to be self-conscious about it. But now I don't give it a second thought. Life is too short to not have the meal you want. Particularly if it's going to perk up your mood. On account of worrying about what the people around you might think. Enjoy yourself and what you do. Dance. Whenever the opportunity arose through puberty and early adult life, I'd just be standing in the corner. Too shy to do anything and caring a lot about how I looked to people. Sidestepping shyly if I felt forced, to the point of getting nervous about the fact that I wasn't doing anything. Then, one weekend at a music festival, something clicked that felt completely out of the blue and I started flailing my arms around and making the dumbest moves to the sound of the music and I had the best time in my life. If there is a party, I'm dancing. All night. With everyone and anyone. And it looks like shit but I'll be damned if my white ass isn't having the best time. Going out not caring what I look like, what I'm wearing. Telling the truth. I used to be so terrified of disappointing people that I would lie to keep them happy. They say the truth will set you free. That's true. It'll also make some people not like you. But that's okay. Asking for help. I've gone through more trouble and passed up more opportunities than I'd like to admit because I was afraid of asking for someone to help me. Needing help doesn't mean you're weak. And accepting help doesn't mean pity. Driving. Still cautious and safe but less terrified of making mistakes and freaking out. That and driving any new cars. If someone asked me to drive a truck SUV at age 18 I would have said no way, but now I have a little experience and wouldn't think anything if someone asked me to now. Being out in the woods. I was born and raised in NYC, so even though I really wanted to experience these things it always seemed so inaccessible and scary. But one afternoon, after a shitty day I just said fuck it. Did some research and found a trail that was within an hour of the city and for beginners. I wasn't able to finish the trail that day. It felt like it went on forever and I chickened out thinking I would get lost. But I still enjoyed the experience and decided I would do it again. It wasn't until a year later I was able to fully hike a trail and get the payoff of the amazing views. I got really into it and learned more skills like navigating and wilderness survival over time. Now even though I am a born and raised city girl I am also an avid hiker. Camper, kayaker, backpacker and overall feel more at home in the mountains than I do in this concrete jungle. Asterisk thank you for the award. I'm super proud for my first award on Reddit to be a Tree Hug Award. And anyone reading thinking they want to try outdoor sports. Please do. The planet needs more advocates to protect its beauty. Just brush up on the policy of leave no trace before heading out there to minimize our impact on these beautiful places. When in doubt just remember. Take only pictures and leave only footprints. Go out without makeup. Farting in front if my so. Had an ex who was not so nice about it. Presentations. I used to stutter a lot. While I still have severe social anxiety, I managed to pull it off with the extroverted clown energy. Not an extrovert by any means. Drop a douche in a public bathroom. Edit. Thank you for the awards. It'll save the time I had to use a Mountain Dew fridge pack for another thread. I go out to eat alone. I mean, I'm married and that's great. We go out together but now and again. I just like my own company. A good meal and a good book. No fucks given. Wearing pink and purple as a male. I always felt weird about it until my wife finally convinced me to get shirts for work in those colors. Now they're basically all I wear. I get a lot of compliments and I feel great in it. Playing guitar in front of people. Singing out loud. Ever since I started singing for my kids I realized it doesn't matter what you sound like as long as you're enjoying yourself. I was gonna say rim jobs then I saw all the thoughtful answers. Edit. Thanks for the awards folks. I'll pay it forward. With rim jobs of course. Not living my life to other people's opinions, expectations. I go around barefoot, grow veggies and finally have chickens. Life is so good not being stressed out all the time. Let go of toxic people. And get a kettle. It'll change your life. Talk to executive level audiences. Always made me feel weird in the past because they were so senior to me. Now, I'm a bit older and a bit wiser. I have more experience and exposure to C-suite level folks. Most of them are really nice, down-to-earth people. I also now talk to my dog in public. So take my previous statement how you'd like relative to this statement. I'd gaff if you think it's weird anymore about my talking to my dog like he's a person. He understands what I'm saying most of the time. Barking at men, catcalling me. Talk like a goofball to my kids. Read in silly voices. Back when I only had one kid, I wasn't even comfortable doing it when I was home alone with him. Now I can be silly at the store, in front of strangers with my kids.